We're live, baby. Ready to go. Because today was the day. Well, this weekend was the weekend for the Marvel. What am I talking about? The Hobbit. The Hobbit release. And part of the Hobbit release was Secret Lairs. And the bundle sold out. And so did the special food tokens, interestingly enough. But none of the other Secret Lairs sold out, with only one Secret Lair, low stock. Interesting. I saw a decent amount of hype around this, but it just didn't pan out. These things did not sell out. They're readily available, and who knows how long it'll take for them to sell out. But what did sell out is boxes. Boxes of play, boxes of collector. They have performed quite well. And what I really wanted to bring up is this release day supply flood. So you see here in this chart, we got the days on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, we have the number of sellers, which is a pretty good proxy for how many, just how much competition is there in the market. If there's only one seller, that one seller gets to dictate, this is the price. Everyone else just has to deal with it. If there's a bunch of sellers, then you'd expect the price to go down. And here on release day, we can see that the number of accounts listing product more than doubled. The number of listed products more than doubled. Just interesting. The price did not go down that much. We're looking at like 190, a little bit above 190 to a little bit of 180, and then it rebounded. So it's not like it's not like the price crashed or anything like that. But it is interesting to see how many people kind of join into the seller's marketplace on release day. I've also got one of these for collector booster boxes, which is, of course, a similar story. We get a nice August 14th release day boom in supply. And collector booster boxes have been jumping up and down between $800 and $900, and they're still within that range, holding strong. These are crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. I am surprised, but also plenty happy. I was able to pre-order a decent amount. Not very much, but a little bit of this stuff for good prices, and I have flipped it, and I'm taking my tendies to the bank. But just interesting to see. Some things are performing great this Hobbit weekend. Other things like the Secret Lair are only okay. I really thought this Desolation would perform better. I bought a couple of these, but not enough to break the bank, but enough to get myself in trouble in case things did go up. But alas, this is where we are now to chat. PPMP2KY, let's go. Hello, gamer. Sell Hobbit by Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right. How is Spider-Man doing these days? It's still low 400s, right? I realized that the way I was talking about these Spider-Man collector boxes. Oh, we're still gathering price data. Sure you are, TCG player. Yeah. These boxes will probably, I imagine their next spike will be next year when there's X-Men come out or something like that. Like the release of Marvel Superheroes got it out of the slump from release. And then when we get to the next Marvel set and the next Marvel set and the next Marvel set, I imagine that will just continue to pump these up and up and up. Buy my chickens. Caught me live. Welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm like breaking my neck. I need to figure out how to move this chat stuff. Stand by. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Miku decks arrived today? No way. Really? Oh my gosh. I bought one of those. Where's my Miku deck? No, the last Secret Lair I bought some of the Stardew Valley Secret Lairs, and they just show up, I can't keep track of all the tracking numbers and what's coming when, so there we go. All right, what do we got? Yo, Relsta. Hey, it's my favorite MTG source of info. Well, that is so kind. Happy to have you here. Happy to party this Monday night. Talk about prices and boxes and all the silliness out there. I'm the sole seller and proprietor of Bloomberg bundles on Canada eBay. Congratulations, cornering the market. That's pretty great. Good to see you today. Did you stream last Monday? No, last Monday I was out of office. I was actually in a hospital, but not for me. Just family member who's okay, A-okay. So it all worked out, but you know, that's what happens when you have to go to the hospital. So you have to cancel streams, which is a bummer. All right, even Final Fantasy play boxes are down to 130 after reprint. I don't see why Hobbit won't do the same thing at some point. Yeah, that's a good call out, PPMB2KY. I mean, yes. The thing is, like, when you follow somebody like Anon and the way they're talking about reprints for The Hobbit, it doesn't sound like it's coming soon. Sounds like there's been, well, we're essentially getting a restock because there's been a delay of play booster boxes. So there should be like a bunch of supply that hits like this week or next week or something like that. That's what I imagine. But I don't know. Because the reality is like, yes, when things get reprinted, the price will come back down to earth, be something reasonable. But until then, right? And the question is, when is that reprint going to happen? Because these Final Fantasy play booster boxes, Wizards could just print money, printing more of these. They're not. So it's like, what are you doing, Wizards? And the answer is they're not just like sitting there doing nothing, right? They're printing something. And so it's kind of paints this picture, which is like a little exciting. It's exciting that Magic is growing and is big and successful, but it's also kind of scary that Wizards of the Coast seemingly cannot print product fast enough. You know, it's like Edge of Eternity's Final Fantasy. I don't know, Secrets of Strixhaven, I think just recently had a restock, but this is another one that like I could totally see the box spiking up at some point because Wizards just isn't on top of it. Yeah. It's crazy, man. These are crazy days, crazy times. Yeah, where's my Miku deck? Yeah, come on now. Yeah, what's going to be really interesting is next May when there's like a bunch of Miku decks popping up out of nowhere. Which, speaking of, what's Miku? Wait, what the heck? Oh, it's an ugly Miku. Where's the Secret Lair Commander deck? Hatsume Miku. There we go. Scalpers are getting some money, but it's not like too crazy. So interesting. People would have sworn that this deck was going to go to like $400 or $500. I guess because people could buy as many as they want. You know, people are willing to wait till May. But this is interesting. It's an interesting case study. We'll see how this goes. And then there's been spoilers for this other commander deck, Secret Lair commander deck, that's looking pretty sweet. It has like some notable reprints like Esper Sentinel and things like that. Let's see if I can pull that up. We're now spoiler stream. Now let's see. Secret Lair commander deck spoiled. Yeah. Here we go on Reddit. Full commander deck odds and ends. And so, yeah, Esper Sentinel, Reconnaissance, Swords to Plowshares, all in this, like, you know, very stylized art style. Yeah, this looks sweet. But I wonder if they're going to do this, like, print to demand, you know, because that's what they kind of said in their article, was that they'll do limited, like, play out of the box products like commander decks, print to demand. And so, anyways, we'll see. Yeah, I got one Miku deck yesterday and two today. Oh, that's so interesting, Wacky Wombo. Yeah, I wonder if I should have a tracking number somewhere. I should be able to like check on where I don't know, where my Secret Lair is. I spent hundreds of dollars on this. Where is it? This new shipper for Secret Lair Wizards is actually so bad. Yeah. No, it's crazy, Kerosene 426. Like that somehow logistics and fulfillment, they're not able to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, what is that art gross? So then PPMV2KY is like, this art is disgusting. And Kerosene's like, that art is so fire. Yeah. Definitely not for everybody. This is like what Mark Rosewater was saying, right? Like, not every product's for everybody or something like that. Anyways, it's still, I mean, this isn't my cup of tea, but it's cool. It's a cool idea. I feel similarly about this as I do about Universes Beyond, which is like someday there will be a commander deck with art that I love, right? And that's going to be really exciting. Someday, like the universe will align and it'll be a commander I like with art I like, and that is going to be incredible. But that has not happened yet. Hasn't even close to happen yet. Actually, the Hatsume Miku deck, the deck list, I don't care for Hatsume Miku, but the deck list is close to the starter commander deck, the Selesnya starter commander deck, and I have fallen in love with that deck. So it was close to being a deck list that I loved, but yeah. Yeah. The classic duality of chat. Yeah. Yep. The art is disgustingly fire. Yep. It's so interesting. I mean, like, let's take a break from TCG Player for a second. Let's go to Mana Pool and check out Soul Rings, because it's like, it is a weird world. Like, just look at all of these different Soul Ring arts. You've got like Fantastic Four and, all this Marvel stuff. Just so much. This Fallout is cool, but it also doesn't make any sense. Actually, who am I kidding? They gave up on Soul Rings making sense a long time ago, but it's just, I don't know. There's so much different art for so many different people. Oh, you can get an Avatar Soul Ring. We should sort these by like price. Can see what people actually like. What the heck? Soul Ring price. Oh, wait. Oh no. That's sorted by best selling. Sort by price. Descending. There we go. Now we're talking. Alpha Soul Ring or bust. Well, guess what, buddy? The Alpha Soul Ring has been outpaced in price by the Elvish Soul Ring and the Kaladesh. Well, and this is on. Like, maybe let's do the same thing over here. Soul Ring. Yeah. At least the Kaladesh Masterpiece Soul Ring has outpaced the beta. Don't see an alpha listing, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, that's why I kind of have to do it here, is because the listing is actually the same over here. Anyways, Dog Bowl Soul Ring for the win. That's right, by my chickens. That's what it's about. Gosh. I owned one of these Soul Rings at one point. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know. It's just fascinating. It's what the heck? Confetti Soul Ring. Anyway. The harder everything is to read, the better. Beardy JM is a fan of the Japanese cards. That's like, I like despise. Yeah, no, a serialized Soul Ring is definitely the most expensive. These are like non-serialized. I wonder, let me check on eBay if there's any serialized Soul Ring sold. Serialized. Wait, is there even a serial Soul Ring? Oh, right. There's like Lord of the Rings had serialized Soul Rings. So here's like $5,000. Yeah, that's more expensive than, yeah, of course. I mean, let's look at sold listings though. See if we can. Yeah. Here's a $6,000 serialized dwarven soul ring. So that definitely blows out of the water any of these things, which just, I mean, obviously nobody was like, oh, I think the serialized one would be cheaper. But it is just interesting how often they can print the same card, except for today, baby. They printed a soul ring today, and guess what? Nobody wants it. Not a single person, unless it's part of the bundle. I think the soul ring's actually pretty cool. If I liked, you know, Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, that'd be sick. Yo, Jade Rattle. Jade Rattle. I've been saying your name wrong, man. Welcome. Jade's one of my closest friends, and so he's here ready to party. TCG Player is such a scam for sellers. Yeah, Chris Lucky Design. I'm curious what you're thinking of, because when I think about, you know, scam for sellers, I think of like the platform being tricky to use. I think of revenue split, obviously. The thing that gets me, well, no, sorry. What's interesting is that I think just today, let me see if I can find it. TCG Player announcement. Because I don't know if I'm going to find it, but I'm pretty sure that oh, here we go. Yeah, 10 hours ago here on Reddit. Reddit comes in clutch once again. Untracked order seller support. So on untracked orders, eligible sellers must provide an appropriate resolution for the missing package to buyers. Escalate this message thread. Request coverage. Oh, cool. This applies to orders placed on or after August 17th. Nice. So yeah, as of today, orders being placed on TCG Player for under, you know, whatever, $50 that never show up, you can escalate it and presumably get a refund or something like that. That's how I read this. But anyways, it's interesting that TCG Player's trying. They're trying to make things better, because I'm pretty sure this is something Manapool already offers. So anyways, it's an interesting world. It's an interesting future that if TCG Player doesn't just like ruin everything for themselves, right? Like TCG Player, it's their game to lose. They've got the monopoly. They've got the buyers. They got the sellers, whatever. But, you know, I made a video about this the other day. Just the optimizer, the car optimizer is so bad compared to Manapool. I don't want to accidentally dock myself and show some information, so I'm not going to like show this live, but it's like you go on Manapool and you use their car optimizer and you get like one, you know, cart, one package or two packages, maybe three. And then on TCG Player, you do the same thing, the same order, same cards, and it's like 8 packages or whatever, which is total garbage, because I know the same sellers are on both. Not necessarily the same inventory, but like I know the sellers are on both. So how is it? It's just not true that these cards are like readily available on Manapool, but not readily available on TCG Player from the same sellers. So anyways, it's interesting. Yeah, the optimizer is cheeks. Jade Rattle said it best. Bearded JM, it always baffles me that multi-million-dollar companies take so long to invest in better technology to make them even more money in the long run. Yeah, it is really interesting. And sometimes small companies too, like there's just like, I don't know, I've seen this multiple times in my professional career as a company just saying like, you know what, we're doing fine, let's just keep the status quo. And that's like how you lose. The status quo is losing. And so anyways, you just got to improve. You got to get better. You got to get new technology. You got to invest in your product. You got to invest in the customer experience. And if you're not actively doing that, then yeah, you're just going to like, I don't know, just going to stutter out. Oh, my dog's here. Hello, puppy. Do you want to come up? Yes. There we go. This is Maisie. My puppy is here. Yo, Ben MTG. Haven't made one of these in ages. Yeah, last week got canceled, so you get a free pass for that one. I found mana pool buyers to be more pleasant too. That's hilarious. Yeah. It's interesting, right? I mean, the thesis, like the foundation of mana pool, is just to be a better alternative to TCG Player. And so it makes a lot of sense that, I don't know, people that sell and buy there would be like, hey, I want this to be a better experience. I want this to be a better place or whatever. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the better company coming along, Beardy, JM, it is, I mean, when there's money to be made, when there's a lot of money to be made, especially for something like having control of a marketplace, like I just can't imagine, you know, I was listening to Anon talk about Pow World coming out and how TCG Player didn't have, they weren't set up to, you know, have Pow World as part of their website, and how they missed out on a ton of money because of that. And I was just thinking about that and just how much money. And I guess we can kind of calculate it. You could look at all the sales and calculate the fees and whatever. But it is just crazy thinking about how much money these marketplaces make as a technology, as a middle person technology that just soaks up all, you know, part of the value of every single sale. And so, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made. So Mana Pool is coming in, trying to take TCG Players lunch. Good for them. That's what we should all want. We should all want there to be competition in a free market that incentivizes companies to do better. Because, yeah, I mean, if there's no incentive to do better, you're just not going to do better. Even monopolies have an incentive to improve, but yeah, it's just not as good as if there's some real threat that your company could get taken down. Which is funny because, you know, of course, what I think of then is Magic, right? Magic is a monopoly. Wizards of the Coast have monopolistic control over Magic the Gathering, the IP, printing Magic cards, like, of course. And so what's their incentive to do better? And I guess their incentive is to make more money. Their incentive aligns with us, which is that they want to create a product that we want to give them money for. And we, in theory, want them to create products that we want to give them money for. So there should be pretty good results. And there has been. I mean, The Hobbit has been a good result. We'll see about, I think Reality Fracture is going to be a great result. I think that's going to, what is Reality Fracture doing these days? I think Reality Fracture is going to be a good result. I think they're working hard to try to make Star Trek successful. Nice. $130 play boxes. That is much healthier than the like $150 it was a month ago or whatever. Yeah, I guess 2 months ago now. Interesting. I wonder why it dropped so quickly. Oh, I guess just more people started listing, probably. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, Beardy Jam. They got a monopoly on my wallet. That sounds about right. That's where the publicly traded fiduciary responsibility comes in. That's right. Shareholder value, baby. You better add shareholder value, which means, in theory, hopefully what that means is creating products and services that customers want, so they buy your stuff. Yeah. Trevor, something, except for lewd proxy cards that are somehow allowed to be sold for $7.99 on eBay. Some guy in Asia had the monopoly on those. Yeah, that's true. The proxy market's crazy. I have studied the proxy markets, and my best estimation is that proxies were very successful back in 2023 when Magic was kind of shooting themselves in the foot and, like, I don't know, just doing dumb stuff like Magic 30th edition. But I would be really surprised if proxy sales are doing okay these days. I don't know. Oh, man. Do I need more interns? Bay Gof Panda. Yeah, send me an email. I will take as many unpaid interns. I will give you interesting research projects that you can put on a mediocre resume. Absolutely. Like I mean, my day job, like my bread and butter is coming up with interesting research ideas that could lead to making a bunch of money. And that's what I'll put you on. You'll be like, "Hi, Nick, I want to be an intern." And I'd be like, "Great. The pay is maybe a cool t-shirt if you do a good job." And then I will sick you on like pull up every collector booster box that's come out since the dawn of time, the most valuable card in it, and then see if we can correlate success in collector booster boxes to there being headliners in them, because there didn't used to be headliners, right? Like Phyrexia OB1 doesn't have a headliner, but it's a successful booster box, while Bloomborough doesn't have one, is a successful booster box. And then, Aether Drift had headliner, is not a successful booster box, like by our current kind of money standards or whatever. Anyways, if you're kind of into math, if you're like, oh, it'd be cool to get some real life interesting research experience, oh yeah, baby, I'm your guy. But if your time is worth more than that, then more power to you, because I've got my other interns that I put to work. It's 2026. It's all about stakeholders now. Or yeah, stakeholders, stockholders. Yeah, John, it is. It's a world of fiduciary responsibilities and trying to eke as much value out of customers as you possibly can. So there's a lot of things, like I would say the majority of incentives companies have line up with customers. Like if you make an experience that's better for a customer, you're going to make more money. That's usually true. The problem are the exceptions to that. Like, for example, one-click cancel is a popular idea. The idea that if you have a subscription to Netflix or whatever, you should be able to cancel with one click, and it should be easy to do that one click. That is not good for companies' bottom line. They want to never do that. They want to fight that tooth and nail. Hidden fees are another one. Ticketmaster with their hidden fees, where you like go through 15 steps and you put in your credit card and your address and all the info, and then you get to the last step and they're like, oh, there's a $30 whatever fee. Hidden fees are another one that are not good for customers. They're good for businesses, not good for customers. And the financial incentives are such that like companies can get away with it. They can sneak that in and they won't lose money. They'll just make money, but it hurts customers. And so anyway, that's what we got to watch out for, because capitalism, code's running, get that out of here. Because like a lot of capitalism does the work for you, like, hey, you make good magic set, I buy good magic set, everyone happy, whatever. But then there's these kind of glitches in the system that are more and more pervasive these days. And so anyways, yeah, not good. F the stakeholders. Exactly. Put it all in red, bro. I'm telling you, it's a lock. Yeah. Thank you, Kerosene. Wizards of the Coast has moved to the business of collector items instead of focusing on the game. Yeah, that's an interesting view. I mean, they do bans and stuff like that. Like, they're obviously somewhat concerned about the game. Their game pieces are definitely integral to how successful their products are. I would argue that the reason the Secret Lair today didn't perform very well is because the game pieces involved here just aren't that interesting, which is, at least in my opinion, it's like some evidence that the game matters. The game matters for Wizards of the Coast for their money. If they make booster boxes that have better cards in them, I think a big part of the reason why the Hobbit's doing so well is the box topper and the box topper slot. The fact that there's so many $50, $60, $70, $80, $100 cards that you can open in a play booster box topper or collector booster box pack I think that's a big part of what's driving up the prices. So anyways, Wizards of the Coast is, yes, making a ton of money from collectors and whales and whatever, but I'd say that their incentives are still quite kind of game piece, gameplay aligned. I think the cards inside the boxes matter a lot. I don't know, though. It's a hard thing to measure, but we should keep Wizards on their toes. Jade Rattle. I heard a lot of big Magic tubers promoting proxying more and more. I remember when MTG Goldfish was very skittish about saying that, but now it comes up on almost every pod. Oh, that's fascinating. That's actually so interesting. Yeah, the fact that CEDH tournaments and in generally CEDH allows proxying is so interesting. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think about it. It's like, I personally really drive a lot of utility from owning like real Magic cards, but I think that's because I like to like rotate my collection pretty frequently. Like I sell cards and buy cards all the time. And I love the finance portion of the hobby too. I love that I can buy a card and then it'll go up in value, right? And that doesn't happen with proxies. When you buy a proxy, it's a dead card, unless you're a bad person and you try to resell it as a real card or something like that, right? I see every once in a while on Facebook Marketplace, somebody selling proxies, and they're very clear that they're proxies, but I wonder if those sell. Anyways, point is, there's obviously huge pros to proxies, but I'm not a big proxy fan personally. But I understand why the mainstream content creators, I think there's a lot of incentives. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be a quote unquote mainstream content Magic creator, because there's like a personality type that a lot of Magic content enjoyers have, that's like very like, I don't know, pro proxy, for instance. And then like my view comes in where it's like, oh, well, actually owning proxies is like diametrically opposed to like MTG finance, where your collection could hold value. And those two viewpoints, I think, like conflict with each other, where like mainstream content in Magic needs to appeal to the people that love proxies and don't care about the finance side, where like the finance people need to appeal to the people who care about the finance side. So anyways, it's really interesting, but it's interesting to hear that more and more mainstream content creators are talking more openly about proxies, because a lot of these people have relationships with Wizards of the Coast. So it's yeah, it's interesting. Chris Lackey design. I use AI for questions like that after I've been training it for months and accumulating data. Yeah, AI is good, man. It's just like, it's, you know, you kind of hate to love it, but AI for developing ideas and kind of quizzing yourself and coming up with interesting things to think or talk about is actually pretty good. Optimized optimizations. Exactly, Jade Rabdel. Beardy JM. Hot take. The new collector boxes are holding up and pushing the price of the old ones by a substantial amount. Yeah, that's interesting, Beardy. Like, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that in a reality where people are just openly spending $800 on a collector booster box that's relatively new, suddenly $200, $300, $400 collector booster boxes feel relatively cheap. What is the Final Fantasy collector booster box doing? It's like the most bipolar box. Yeah, down to 1600 when it was 1900. That's crazy. It's just been declining for a month. So bizarre. But it kind of makes sense, because look at how many were selling back when they were $1,200. Then there's less selling now. Well, anyway. Yeah, Beardy JM, I think that's a pretty good take. Scarn Z, you have done wonders for my business. Thanks for all the ideas. Yay! You're welcome. That is cool to hear, man. The idea, you know, the channel name, Capital Catalyst, the idea, the theory is that I can be a catalyst for your capital, help you make money. So that's cool to hear. Great feedback. Thank you, Scarn Z. Here we go. Nick is actually an AI VTuber. Jade Rattle, stop it. I don't care if you're right. You got to stop this. Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm really behind on chat. What the heck? Proxying shiny zombie fish. Proxying got to be the craziest topic I've heard all over after taking a break after COVID. Unheard of to me before that, and I play a lot of competitive. Yeah, proxying is crazy. I don't know. There's some like CEDH decks, proxies make sense. One thing that I was interested in that I created was a proxy cube. You know, use just AIR and a dinky frame builder or whatever, but an entire vintage cube proxied from Make Playing Cards, you know, by the like 600 card, the 540 card cube with some proxied lands, but you could use basic lands too. You have to sleeve it all up. That was the pain. But, you know, experiencing the vintage cube in paper is such a sweet experience. But anyways, it's a wild world with proxying. A single seller who started in 2022 as a single seller. Chris Lackey Design. As a single seller who started in 2022, I used to buy 2 cases of collector boxes for each set, and the singles did very well. Now the prices are 10x EV. That is crazy. Yeah, that is really interesting. Yeah, back in the day, back in 2022, every collector box at release was like relatively, cheap in today's standards. $240 is not cheap in my opinion, but yeah, it's crazy. Proxying tokens is the gateway drug. Nice. Do you think Edge of Eternity's play will hit 200? I think there's a reprint coming. I don't know this. Anon's the guy to follow for like reprints and understanding when restocks are happening and stuff. But I think the Edge of Eternity's has a reprint coming like Q3, Q4, something like that. And so now that being said, Star Trek's going to come out. And I think there's going to be some serious synergy between Edge of Eternities and Star Trek that could drive demand for boxes. But I'm not that confident about it. I wouldn't say that I'm very confident that Edge of Eternities will hit $200. I would say there's like 60% chance. So, you know, something, but not that confident about it. Kerosene 426. No one cares about EV anymore, Chris. Pokemon proved that with their hit rates. Yeah. Well, you care about EV if you're trying to sell singles. That's when you care about EV, but it's real. It's real. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Speaking of code running, oh, well, you look at that. The Strixhaven boxes, Strixhaven Commander deck set is looking like it is after fees and stuff. Strixhaven, that's how you spell it, right? Yeah, Strixhaven Commander. Here we go. Wow, okay, so after shipping and, after taxes, you don't make money. Man, if only there's collector sample packs in these. Anyways, I'm being nonsensical. If you can find these, so you can buy these deck sets, open them up, and sell the singles, which might be a pain in the butt, but you could net money. Not very much money, definitely not worth it. But man, if you could find these, like 160 for a deck set, that's probably impossible, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be researching, trying to source these for a good price, but don't know if that's going to happen. 6 p.m. code. Set your watch to it. Yeah, exactly. That's right. I vibe coded some stuff with Claude, and now it's taken over my computer. I love it. It's pretty cool. As a single seller, I can see that. I don't sell sealed. Yeah. Yep. Magic equals Commander. Commander is thriving. Yep. It's real. Commander is thriving, man. All right. Glad I secured 4 Hobbit collector boxes at $4.90 each at Micro Center. Really? Was that a pre-order? Was that like you showed up and like elbowed your way through? That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's good. All the Hobbit Secret Lair art looked like main set rejects, right? Yeah, some people are speculating about this Secret Lair, the like Desolation, because it's very similar to an art style that has performed well as a Secret Lair in the past. Although there's probably other reasons why it's apples and oranges, but it's very interesting. I like the Smog Spoils. I kind of like this art. I feel like if I was into the Hobbit at all, I would have bought this, but I don't really care for the Hobbit. So yeah, just meh. I've proxied cards to play before and they just lack that magic. The magic that real cards have. Wow, Jade Rattle. That's pretty cute. They're missing the magic. Yeah. I feel that. I really enjoy. I love playing real magic card lands. This sounds goofy, but like fetching and shocking with a real fetch and a real shock to me is just like such a fun, cool thing. I aspire one day to have revised dual lands. I do not have those, and maybe I never will, but there's a lot of money. It's hard to be like, I'm going to spend $400 on one card when you can buy a whole deck for $400, you know? But real cards are sick. And maybe I'm just a corporate plant, but I think having real cards is nice. Obviously, I think everybody would agree, but you know, there's lots of good reasons for proxy. That's clear. I think Wizards of the Coast looks at diversifying their portfolio, not focusing on one thing now. Yeah, I'd love to hear, Zhao, he B7G, what you mean. Because yeah, Wizards of the Coast is definitely trying a lot of things. It's interesting seeing just the skews, you know, like draft nights. Like, what are they doing with draft nights? I mean, I think the pessimistic view is that they're trying to figure out how to print more collector booster boxes without reprinting collector booster boxes. Wow, the box topper's still $40. That's crazy. Because it's been $40. Is pre-ordering for $40. Wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. Anyway, top at box toppers. I print my own high quality proxies for pennies each. Yeah. I see a lot of people I on TikTok, I've seen a lot of people kind of walk through that process and it's pretty cool. So anyways, good for you. Yeah. Many TCG players think scalpers are the biggest issue in all of TCG. Yeah. Yeah. Dark Jord 5823. I've seen multiple ads. This is actually what's disturbing to me. I've seen multiple ads on TikTok for for repacked products. It's always like a buy resealed, repacked, basically gamble your money with us instead of gambling on boosters. And they advertise it as a way to defeat scalpers, which is so interesting. For whatever reason, these multiple companies, their market research, they're like, how do we appeal to the average Magic player? We villainize scalpers, which, like, of course, scalpers should all be villainized. But then we say that, like, our repacks are going to be a better way to, like, buy and enjoy real Magic cards than buying on TCG Player or whatever. Anyways, I was like, that is fascinating. It's just, I'm just curious how far the boogeyman of the scalper can go. Because in case you don't know, I use the term scalper like very, like, openly as just kind of like a joke, because there's not like a clear definition of scalper. I think most people would agree on what a scalper is and isn't, but it's just a weird gray world. But yeah, people demonize it. And I guess to me, my one-liner for why I think the whole fascination with scalpers is misplaced and misconstrued is because people blame scalpers as the reason for there being a lack of supply for a product. Scalpers can't exist unless there already is a lack of supply of the product. And we see this. I mean, this is just obvious. Like, I don't think there's a lot to debate here, but if there's tons and tons of product and it's easily accessible, there cannot be scalpers. What people think of when they say scalpers is they think of a cartel. They think that, like, the scalpers are the ones buying up all the product. Like, the product would be abundant, but it's because of the scalpers that are buying up all the product and hoarding it that the product is not abundant. And I just haven't seen evidence of that. that there's like a cartel of scalpers that are like ruining things for everybody. But maybe that is true. And if that's true, like send me the deets, because that'd be really interesting to report on. But what I think is far more likely and far more normal is people buy low and sell high. Everyone has the same incentives to undercut each other. And if supply is high enough, prices go down. If supply is too low, then prices go up. Anyway, right. Where am I? What day is it? Just get off my pedestal. Buying proxies is old school. Nowadays, you can print your own on affordable printers. Yeah. Agreed. Snaps. I've printed my play group and I, we will have like we have a joke, right? That's like you buy a commander, you'd buy cards for your commander deck, but then it's your play night and all your cards have shown up except for like 3, right? Which is so annoying. So you either print on your printer those cards, or you like write the card on a basic land or whatever. And then, you know, we're playing and it's like, okay, I cast my Ugin. I swear, guys, I bought a real copy. I can show you the receipt. It's coming. I just needed a proxy. And everyone's like, sure. You actually bought it, you know? It's like, anyway, good times. Definitely a place for proxies. Oh my God, is this channel powered by AI? Yeah, Nick is actually an AI VTuber. You got me. I'm actually a woman. This is my VTuber face, but I'm actually a woman with flowing locks of hair, and I just chose to have a AI avatar, which is this guy who's like not too old, not too young, that has a receding hairline. So y'all been got. I only proxy cards I own a copy of. Yeah, that's pretty common. I think that especially in CDH, people do that. But the Secrets of Strixhaven Commander deck. Oh, wait. Bought the Secrets of Strixhaven Commander decks. I put 4 copies of each. It hasn't been great for sales. Interesting, Chris Lackey design. Well, that's a good heads up. Maybe I'll avoid it then. I will learn from your wisdom. Yo, Base Che, welcome. Where am I? I scroll once and then like the chat gets completely ruined. Oh, here we go. Kerosene. Anon said to sell Edge of Eternities in October of this year. Yeah. That sounds right. That sounds reminiscent of what I've heard him say too. So you just gotta be I don't know. You got to be on top of it. If you're going to play boosters, you got to really know your timing. You got to be friends with Anon, probably in his Discord. Yeah. The animations are so convincing, Trevor. You're right. That's right. Buying booster boxes from recent sets for 100, 120 and waiting 6 months just seems like a cheat code right now. Easy to see a world where Strixhaven boosters push 200. Yeah, that's right. It is a cheat code. I think having the insight from Anon or somebody who has some insight to like reprint cadences is going to make that process way less friction or just make it way smoother. But yeah, I agree. When we were kids, we saved to afford real cards. We grinded to get grails, traded with others. Everyone just wants everything for free now all the time. Instant gratification. Man, Jeremy Xermit or Xemit 1631 coming out with the like back in my day, like, you know, us boomers, we traded for our cards. Dang it. Yeah, it is just interesting because I agree. There's a lot of people on the internet that just feel so entitled that like everybody should have their own golden smog, you know, and it's like, no, like the basic copies of cards can be cheap. And there can be expensive versions that you'll never own because they're expensive versions, and that's okay. That is an okay thing. Yo, I pre-ordered a copy of Smog for $20. Stonks, baby. Even after release, it's still selling for 30. It's so good. The pretty lights. I proxy basic lands because I get them for free from my friends that work at FedEx. Nice. Yeah, that's stonks right there. Base J, Nick, what do you think about selling some of your expensive cards on eBay at higher prices to see if people will buy it in order to try and get higher than market without listing your whole inventory. Base Che, if you got the time, then like, yeah, you can sell the same card on eBay for more, usually. If you've got the time to list it and the time to wait. For me personally, I've been very pleased to sell on TCG Player and maybe someday Mana Pool. Just the velocity and being able to sell quickly and just, I don't know, it's just so smooth, so easy. Like eBay has the shipping integrated, which is nice, but TCG Player, the way that they give you a pull sheet, so you can just pull all the cards out and then quickly like get them with the packing slips. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've got down as a system. So yeah, eBay's good. eBay's really a great platform for making lots of money. I like RNG Games' outline for making 100 grand on eBay, selling bulk and less expensive cards is like, I believe it. I think it's real, but it just takes like time and dedication, and I don't have either of those. Holding my Infinity Cosmos foil lands for Star Trek. Chris Lackey design, clever. Yeah, that's a good idea. If I could get the Mirkwood bats by itself, I would. Yeah, Brian JV18, hit me up. I'll get you. I got 2 non-foil, and I don't need the Mirkwood bats, so hook you up. I forgot about the secret lair today. I wanted to spec on the tokens. Oh, yo, the tokens are the ones that sold out. The food tokens, which I wonder if they're being scalped on eBay yet. The answer is of course, but Hobbit food tokens. Wow. Wait, is this just for the one secret lair? Oh, okay. They took a price. Fascinating. I would not have predicted this. I did not predict this, that the food tokens would do so well. But hey, what you gonna do? Almost no March Machine set booster boxes. I got on earlier on it, so just waiting. Yo, don't wait too long, man. Cash out. Take yourself out to dinner. It's good stuff. Recently picked up 3 Lord of the Ring Commanders, Sauron, Frodo, Sam food for 65 each, 3 Dominaria, Rainbow, and 3X Legend Legacy for 60 each, Hobbit pre-release kits for 30 each. I went to a small LGS. Nice, Scarns. That's sick. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Makes me wonder. I should probably visit my local LGSs more, but I feel like a lot of my local LGSs are like so priced in. There's just no chance for any arbitrage. Yeah, buy the singles, baby. Buy singles. We have 80 plus viewers, only 5 likes. Folks, hit that button, por favor. Jade Rattle, thank you. That's right. Hit that like button, baby. Go for it. Costs you nothing. You don't even have to subscribe, but you really should. You should also subscribe. Wouldn't buy the whole secret lair. Yeah, I agree. Well, I did buy the whole secret lair, but it's hard. It's hard that like it's so rare for a secret lair to have just bangers, right? It's like the secret lairs have some good cards and then some meh cards, and that's just the way it goes. Smog Spoil is going to be a great pickup for long-term hold. Smog Spoils? Oh, I see. Yes. This secret lair for long-term hold. That's probably true. That's probably true. I don't believe in it enough to do it, but I would give it, you know, like a decent chance that this secret lair in a year is $100. Yeah, that's interesting. Hobbit is the only draft night box since it was introduced this year with Lorna Eclipse where it is above MSRP. Yeah. Yeah, I love draft nights. I think they're actually really cool. They're super underrated. I've been having a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just interesting. Draft nights are cool. They're actually a lot of fun. Obviously, if you are able to draft it with friends as a draft night, that's really cool. But just sitting down and opening up by yourself sounds lonely, but it's actually really fun. Yes, Jade Rattle, villainize scalpers to scam folks. Exactly. That's where we're at. Is scalpers are the enemy. Buy my repacks. Awesome. Just cinema. Scalpers are the symptom. Yeah, that's how I feel. I think there's a lot of evidence to support the reality that scalpers are a symptom of the problem, not the actual problem. When there's free tendies to be made, people are going to make free tendies, you know? It's also, yeah, anyway, I could talk about it forever. I don't scalp, I price competitively. That's right. That's right. Oh, is that you, Q's? Yeah, Q's Cardboard made it. Wanting the convenience of having the thing now is expensive. Yeah. Yeah. Jade Rattle, Econ 101 explains pretty much everything in the Magic market. Yes, that's how I feel. That's my channel. That's the thesis of my channel is Econ 101 explains everything about Magic markets, and then I just make videos about that most nights. It's good times. Show us, yeah. Reverse, yeah. yeah. You want to see my actual self? I like what I revealed earlier is that I'm actually a cute girl, but I created this persona, this VTuber persona, to hide my true identity. So y'all will never see. Yeah, he's so far behind on chat. That's right. I'm gonna hurry up now because it's getting late. I'm proxying one of the Commander Hobbit cards that was collector exclusive until the Battle of the Five Armies box comes out, because it was only had 15 card. Wait, 15. Oh, 15 C80. I refused to buy something that's only, yeah, artificially scarce right now because it's collector exclusives for a year. Yeah. Go for it. It's like, if it feels dumb to buy a card, don't buy a card. Either play without it or proxy it or whatever. Artificially scarce right now because it's collector's exclusive for a year. Yeah. People will congratulate someone for buying a house for $200K, then selling it for $260K, but get mad when someone buys a card for $20 and sells it for $30. Yeah. No, it's wild. The hypocrisy is wild. Like, what areas of life were like, that's okay, then what areas of life were like, no, it's not. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I proxy all my decks because I refuse to spend my own Magic. There we go. That's what I'm saying. Live your life, like, everybody's entitled to live their life the way they want to live it. Do what brings them joy, as long as you're not hurting other people. That's a pretty vague, mantra, but you get the idea. Proxying cards most certainly is not hurting other people unless you try to sell those proxies as real things, in which case you suck. But obviously no one in this chat would ever do that. So that's good. Do you recommend that I hold my Lord of the Ring, Final Fantasy, Dominaria United, Dungeons & Dragons Commander decks for 5 years, or should I be selling those now? Well, Scarns, I would say it very much depends on your financial situation. Because if you could use that money now to do anything that would significantly improve your life, you should probably just sell and do that. But if there's no way that you could use that money better than the satisfaction of having these things in your closet and letting them appreciate, then yeah, go for it. But what I've found with a lot of my collection and how it's appreciated is that I'm able to sell those items, either use that money to bless my family or reinvest it into something else. The flipper is going to make a lot more money than the investor, but the flipper is going to do a lot more work, right? So yeah, it depends. It depends on if you have time to flip. If you gain a lot of satisfaction from owning these things, then maybe you should continue to own them. But I know for me, selling has been quite good. I've been able to, I sold my Final Fantasy, made a bunch of money, reinvested that into other things. I'm going hard into, what is this? Reality Fracture collectors. We'll see if this price holds, but man, if it does, I'm going to make a killing. We'll see. Anyways, I said I was going to go fast through chat, then now I'm going like slow. I built out a pull sheet that integrates all platforms. I sell on into a single pull list. Oh, just used it with Apple Vision Pro to gather a few hundred cards for orders. This is pretty cool. Yo, with the Apple Vision Pro, that is sick. Oh my gosh. I would seriously consider, that's such a good idea, is somehow make an app for the Apple Vision Pro that helps you find the cards that are in your collection for packing orders. Like I would buy an Apple Vision Pro to get that app, you know, that's crazy. I know that's not what you said, but it's an interesting idea. Been scalping since the Tickle Me Elmo days. God bless, John. Good work. I double scalp cards by first getting value out of playing them and then selling them when I get bored. Nice. That's what it's about, man. Okay, I lied. I love going to pre-release events and making a deck on the spot, even though I get smoked all the time. Field collector. Always a must to bless the family. Yeah, you know, it's like, I don't know. I see a lot of mostly Pokemon YouTubers, boo Pokemon, but they're like, I've built a Pokemon business and I make a ton of money selling cards and I just reinvest all of it. And it's like, holy crap. Like, what? You know, I don't know. I guess they must have like really good budgets and no debt and whatever. But I'm like, I use the money I make from my business all the time to like help pay down debt or take the family out to eat or whatever, you know? Not all the time, but you know, it's just like, it's just part of my life. So anyways, just interesting. I personally reinvested my Wilds of Eldraine Commander decks to gains into weed. Congratulations, Trevor. You did it. Made it right. Made it right. Really looking forward to Reality Fracture. B-Chan, me too. I think this is going to be a sweet set. I think it's a really clever idea to have Strixhaven, which was so sweet, and then just do Strixhaven inverse and see how that goes, you know? So excited about that. Wait, you're so right. Thank you, Field Collector. Thank you. I'm not sure what you're talking about now, but always showing up with a new flashy watch or something. Yeah, that's what's about. The flashy watches, baby. Okay, we did it. We made it to the end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out. I am going to bed, baby. Yeah, Beardy JM said it best. All right, peace, y'all. Thanks for being here. Subscribe.